Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Hooked on Lois, and today we're going to be learning how to make granny squares. Now granny squares comes in different patterns. We have this daisy pattern and then this sunburst or sunflower pattern. I like to call it that. And then we have this heart pattern. We also have this solid granny square. See, it's just there. You can use it to make different things like this bag, this two-piece, or this dress. But today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this traditional granny square. Looking at this square, normally a square has 4 equal sides. So this granny square, all of the sides are equal, like they are equal. And it has about 4 corners. These corners are what makes up the squares. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did, and I can't wait to see you make your own granny square. So let's go. So for this tutorial, I'll be making another granny square, and these are the colors of yarn I'll be using. I'll be using the white yarn for the first round, the yellow yarn for the second round, the orange for the third round, and the pink for the last round. So let's start. Starting with the white yarn, I'm going to be doubling it because I don't want to use the strand of yarn like that. It's going to be too light for this tutorial. So I'm just going to double it up. I'm making use of a 3.5mm hook. And so to start this first round, we're going to be making a magic circle. How do you make a magic circle? You're going to grab the yarn like this, 2 fingers, that is your index and your middle finger, and now you're going to wrap it around those 2 fingers. So just watch closely. Going to wrap it this way to form an X. So this is how yours should look like. It's going to form an X. Then you grab your hook and then insert it under that strand there, and then grab the other strand with the hook and pull it up this way. So that is your magic circle and then your starting loop. There's another way of making a magic circle in case you do not understand this one, but before then, this is how I'm going to wrap my working yarn on my finger, and now I'm going to chain 3. This is going to be my starting stitch. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to be making use of this style of magic ring or magic circle. So I'm going to be doing another style. I'm going to first make a slip knot, and then I'm going to wrap the working yarn around my fingers. So once that is done, I'm going to be doing 5 chains. Remember how we do a chain? Yarn over and then pull through, yarn over and pull through that loop. So we're going to do that 5 times. I've reached the 5th chain, and now to make that circle, I'm going to insert my hook in that first chain I made. So insert the hook there, and I'm going to be making a slip knot, pull over and then pull through that loop again. So once you've done that, you can see it has formed a circle. That is going to be the circle we'll be working with. Open up that circle properly, and now we're going to start our first stitch by chaining 3. So make 3 chains, and that is the starting stitch. Now we're going to be making a double crochet into that circle. That is the center of the circle. So you're going to make 2 double crochets. Remember how we make a double crochet? You're going to yarn over first and then pull up a loop, then pull through 2 loops and pull through the next 2 loops. So you're going to do that again. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops and pull through the last 2 loops. Now we have 3 stitches inside that circle. So the next thing you want to do is to chain 2. We're going to be making a corner. This is going to be the corner of our first round. Looking at this granny square, you'd see the first round has about 4 corners. So we're going to be doing the same thing on this first round. And to do that, we're going to chain 2 and then make 3 double crochets into that circle. So do that now. Make the first double crochet, the second and the third. And that is the third double crochet stitch. So now the next thing we are going to do is to chain 2 again. So chain 2 and then make another 3 double crochet stitch. So we are going to be making clusters of 3 double crochets and then chain 2. We're going to do that 4 times. So we have reached the end of our 3 double crochet cluster. You can see it's already forming a square already. You can see the 3 corners, 1 2 3. So to make the fourth corner, we're going to be chaining 2 and then we're going to slip stitch into that 3 chain we did. Remember the first stitch we did? We're going to be doing a slip stitch into the third stitch. So just insert your hook into the third stitch, pull up a loop and then pull it through. So that is all for this first round. You can see the 4 tiny corners. It's tiny now because it's the first round. We are done with the first round, so we're not going to be making use of this white yarn anymore. So I'm just going to finish it off like this. Just draw up a loop and then pull that strand of yarn through like this and make sure it's tight. For the magic circle we did earlier, you can just pull the yarn like this to make sure the center is tighter. So just pull it, and then what I like to do is to tie my loops. I just like to tie the yarn like this so it is much more secure. Make sure it's very tight so that your stitches won't unravel later on. You can go ahead and weave the ends inside, but I like to just cut off mine. And I'm just going to do the same with the other one. I'm going to cut it off. And that is all for the first round. You can see how small it looks and how tiny it looks. You can also see the 4 corners there. So we're going to be working into these corners for the next round. For the second round, I'm going to be making use of this yellow yarn. We are going to be working in corners for the second round. So I'm going to insert my hook into one of those corners and I'm going to pull the yellow yarn inside like this. Now I'm just going to tie it or make a knot on it this way. This is going to be my new working yarn. So make sure it's really tight and secure. And now I'm going to be wrapping my yarn all over my fingers and insert my hook, pull up a loop and then make 3 chains. These 3 chains count as the first double crochet, so I'm going to make 2 other double crochets into that corner space. So 2 double crochets and that is it. We have 3 stitches now into that corner. I'm going to chain 1 to move to the next corner and make 3 double crochets into that corner. We are at a corner and it's at the second round of this granny square. So you're going to be making 3 clusters of double crochets into that corner and then you're going to chain 2 stitches. So chain 2 and then insert your hook again into that corner. I'm going to make another cluster of 3 double crochets. This is going to form another corner. Because we are at the second round of this granny square, we need another corner. You can see the corner has been formed, so we're going to chain 1 and move to the next corner and repeat the same thing we did for the previous corner. We're going to make 3 clusters of double crochets, chain 2, and inside that same corner we're going to make those 3 clusters again. So just do that. Move to the next corner, chain 1, and then repeat the same process. 3 clusters, 2 chains, and 3 clusters, all into the same corner. As you can see, we already have 2 corners, so we are going to form the third corner, and I have chained 2, and I'm going to be making the next 3 clusters of double crochets into that same corner stitch. That is the third corner, and to make the fourth one, we're going to chain 2, and into that stitch we started from, we're going to just make 3 clusters of double crochet stitches. So just make the 3 double crochets into that same stitch. Now here we're going to be chaining 2 to make the fourth corner, and then we're going to make a slip stitch on that 3 chain stitches we did earlier. So on the third chain, we're going to insert the hook and then pull up a loop and pull through that same loop. So just do that. You can also make just 1 chain here to close it off, and then snip off the yellow yarn because we are done with the second round. You can see the square is coming together nicely, and if you notice, we have a pattern already. I'm just going to be tying the end so my stitches do not unravel later on. Do that for yours also, or you can weave it in if you like. Just do the same for that other yarn. Tie it twice so it doesn't unravel, and make sure it's really tight. And this is how the second round looks like. You can see it has 4 corners, and that is how yours should look like as well. Now I'm going to be making the third round, and I'm going to be making use of this orange yarn, and the same way we attach the yellow yarn, the same way we're going to attach this orange yarn as well. We're going to be making a knot on one of the corners. You can choose any corner to start from, so I'm going to be making mine here and then making a knot. Make sure your knot is very tight so it doesn't come off later. Now I'm going to insert my hook into that corner and then pull up a loop like this and make 3 chain stitches. That is going to be our starting stitch. Into that same corner, you're going to make 2 double crochet stitches as well. And now you're going to chain 1 and move to the next stitch. You're going to make 3 clusters of double crochet stitches. This is not a corner, so you're not going to do those 2 chains. You're just going to make a normal cluster of stitches. Now chain 1, and now we've reached a corner. We're going to make 3 clusters of stitches, of double crochet stitches. So do that. Once the first 3 clusters are done, you're going to chain 2 to make a corner, and into that same stitch you're going to make 3 clusters of double crochet stitches again. So that is the first corner. Now you're going to chain one and move to the next stitch, 3 clusters of double crochet stitches, and once you reach a corner, 3 clusters of double crochet stitches, chain 2 and make another 3 clusters into the same stitch. So that is the pattern we're going to be working with for this round 2. Keep doing this until you reach the third corner. I'm at the third corner here and I'm going to make my cluster of double crochet stitches, 3 clusters, chain 2 and 3 clusters again into the same corner stitch. So now to make the fourth corner, I'm going to chain 2 and then insert my hook into that corner and make 3 clusters of double crochet stitches. So once that is done, I'm going to chain 2 again to make a corner, and now we're going to slip stitch that into that 3 chain we did earlier. So into the third chain, I'm going to make a slip stitch and then pull through that loop, and that is all for the second round of this granny square. You can see it's coming together already. Our square is squaring. It's squaring and it's coming together nicely. So you're just going to finish off that yarn, make sure it's really tight, and then tie it twice. You can weave in your ends if you want to, but I'm just going to tie my own and then cut it off, and do the same for that starting yarn as well. Tie it twice and then cut off the yarn. We are done with the second round of this granny square. You can see it has the 4 corners, and if you notice, we have extra stitches there in the square for the second round. So you're going to make the third square, and I'm going to be using this pink yarn for the next round. So we're going to do the same thing we did for the yellow and the orange yarn. We're going to make a knot into one of the corners like that, and then make 3 chain stitches as the starting stitch. Then make 2 more double crochet stitches into that same corner stitch. So once you've done that, once you've made those 3 stitches, you're going to chain 1 and move to the next stitch and make 3 clusters of double crochet stitches. If there's another stitch there, you chain 1 and move to the next stitch. Only when you reach a corner is when you make the 3 clusters and chain 2, and into that same corner stitch you make 3 clusters again. Then to move to the next stitch you chain 1. So you can see it's forming a pattern already, and that is the pattern we use to make more rounds. If you're going to make more rounds than these 3 rounds we're doing, I'm going to use that pattern to make a bigger granny square. I'm here at the last corner of this round 3, and we're going to be making the 3 clusters of double crochet stitches into that corner, and then I'm just going to make 2 chains to make the last corner. And once that is done, you're going to slip stitch, and we are done with the round 3 of this granny square. You can see how nice it looks. If you want to go further, you can go further. There is no problem with that. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be stopping here. You can see they are all the same sizes. That is why we call it a square. It is equal on all four sides. If you want to make a bigger granny square, just follow the patterns. And you can see on this square here, I made a square. I made extra 2 rounds, and you can see it has more stitches. So more rounds that you go, the more stitches you're going to have, and the more bigger square you're going to have. On the 5th round, I have 3 extra stitches, and on the 6th round, I have 4 extra stitches. So the higher you go, the more stitches you have. This is all for this granny square tutorial, and I would love to see you make your own granny square. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did, please give it a like, comment and share, and also more importantly, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Till my next video, stay healthy. Bye.